Hello Trinidad and Tobago and welcome back to Long Story Short. I am your host Darrion, Theatrics, Narine, and I just want to remind you to always season your chicken and ensure that you reheat food that you cooked yesterday. Those are some fantastic tips indeed to avoid any kind of food poisoning, especially with this new stomach bug that seems to be making its rounds across the entire country. Nevertheless, I hope that you all are having a great 2023, even though we have some issues that are popping up all around our country. And you know, Trinidadians are known for liming. We are known for having our culture liming, taking our lime anywhere and everywhere. Whether you're down the road, whether you're by a family member, whether you're at the club, whether you're at the bar, sometimes even in the church after mass, people just be taking a little lime. And liming has many different connotations. But one such connotation is the idea of taking a lime in a party, in a fete, at a little club. But as of late, we've been seeing a lot of issues starting to rise up, and I kind of fed up. I real fed up of how much crime that we're seeing all over. And of course, the latest is the situation that took place at the Avenue quite recently. Take a look right here.
What the fucking police is? So what the police is? What the police is? You're trained. What the police is?
So Trinis are known for liming 24/7, and in fact, many women who go out to lime does make me feel like 7 days, week. Real weak indeed. Yes, but nevertheless, with so much crime on the rise, the lime is no longer as safe as it used to be. And when we hear songs like shots, 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 I don't think they meant literal shots, but rather some alcoholic beverages to really make the lime go just a little bit sweeter and a little bit smoother. But nevertheless, we have some people who are entering in and coming in and spoiling the vibes for everybody, no matter where you go. Imagine you're taking a lime on the Arapita Avenue, a place that is in the capital city, a place known for housing many different people at many different points of time of the year for a good lime. And now we have these people who are coming in and just spoiling the vibes for everybody. It does not resonate well or work out well for anybody indeed. But what's even more troubling is that the perpetrators of most of the crimes that are taking place on the Avenue are very young. It's youth, young people. In fact, in that last clip, what we heard there from that security man, and just an aside, that security seemed to be taking his job real serious. I mean, the man say even personal friends getting pat down. It don't matter who you are, you getting pat down. So granny, tanty, anybody who come through there getting pat down. In fact, if you go to his house lime, he might pat you down before you even come inside the house. I'm telling you, he's serious. He's real serious about his job. But we need more people like that to take their job seriously. And with so many young children making their way onto the Avenue now, and I do say children because they are minors under the age of 18, according to this man in this clip, he's saying that they are coming on board and making rash decisions. Sometimes they have weapons with them, and there's a need be for concern. Because the first question is why we have so much minors out on the streets of Trinidad and Tobago at late night taking a lime. Is it that there's an after-school program happening there? I do not think so, but there's need be for concern with something like that because children need to be in school, but children also need not be in parties and events where there's alcohol serving and a lot of adults at 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. There must be some level of accountability, and it's very worrisome that we're seeing the amount of fights and violence starting to happen out there. Age goers to clubs, the age has really dropped drastically according to people who are liming there now. And that has really curtailed adult presence on the Avenue as well. And we're seeing a lot of rash decisions being made, a lot of crime starting to climb up, And it really begs the question, what exactly is the police force doing to curtail this or to stop this? There needs to have a serious intervention happening, especially in all these liming areas and spots, because this affects tourism. When you open up an article and the first thing you see is some sort of violent act happening in a place that's supposed to be a tourist area, it's definitely going to deter the tourists. Soon, the only people who will be visiting the country who will consider foreigners are literally my tourists. Tourists, that's it, if we continue along these lines. So a plan of action is really, really needed, and I hope that we can action it as soon as possible as well, so that we can help deal with these issues. What does this look like? Maybe we need to have something, intervention within the school system itself, some sort of psychosocial aid program or mental health program, or even counseling sessions within schools, or maybe at the community centers within our different communities across Trinidad and Tobago. We need to have interventions that really target the children of that community. In a recent article, I saw that there's been over 2,000 children who have been lost from the school system during the pandemic. That is need be for concern. What happens in the next 10 years? Where do they go? What is their life going to look like? What is the trajectory of those communities where majority of the children are not present? It's really, really something that we need to focus in on. And I hope that teachers and communities and everybody takes an active part. It can't just be one-sided with just the police service alone acting on this. But you all remember that old tale? I remember it real good, you know. It takes a village to raise a child. I hope we never lose that. Moving towards all these levels of individualism is really showing something that could infect our entire population later down and have many, many adverse effects. Need be for concern. Keep praying, but also keep planning. And let's bring back our community vibes as we begin to look out for each other and try to find the crime situation. Do I have the answers? I don't. I just have suggestions. And if everybody pitch in a lot of suggestions, hopefully somewhere inside there we can find the answer. But on to other news. So what's happening in the world of tech? You know, I can't come on this program and not talk about tech. In the last episode, we covered something on ChatGPT, but we know that Google itself has been developing its own AI over the last how many ever years. And they are ready to launch, if they haven't launched already, and launch and develop this program even further. But what is hilarious is the next clip that we have coming up. Take a look right here.
Google allowed us inside its artificial intelligence laboratory.
Hey, Scott, welcome to Google.
And we also had a rare interview with Google's CEO, Sundar Pichai. What do you compare AI to in the course of human civilization?
You know, I've always thought of AI as the most profound technology humanity is working on, more profound than fire or electricity or anything that we have done in the past.
Why so?
It gets at the essence of what intelligence is, what humanity is. You know, we are developing technology which for sure one day will be far more capable than anything we have ever seen before.
So the CEO of Google is saying that AI is a greater discovery or greater invention or greater contributor to humanity than fire and electricity. Now, don't get me wrong, Don't get me wrong. When he said that it was a greater contributor to society than electricity, I was truly shocked. Yes, indeed I was. But nevertheless, I don't know, I really had to think in on this one. How is AI a greater contribution to society, to the world, to humanity than electricity and fire, especially fire? I mean, fire is one of the 4 elements. Like, it's essential to everyday life. Without fire, you can't cook. You can't do so many other things. I don't know if you all remember that show, that animated series, Avatar: The Last Airbender. You all can imagine if he didn't bend the element of fire, but instead he was bending the element of AI. The man just like throw out robots to go and fight wars. I don't think that'll work out at all. In fact, if there was a failure of AI today, we will need fire. We need fire more than that because we could survive without the AI. The cavemen did it. Many centuries did it. They survived without any technology whatsoever. Well, any advanced technology, that is, any artificial intelligence. So I don't know how I feel about AI being a greater discovery than fire and electricity. but indeed it is something that I think could benefit us in the long run. And we've seen some really interesting things happening, especially with the development of a fake sun. Yes, you heard me there correct. With the advancements in technologies, we are seeing a fake sun being developed in China. Take a look right here.
It seems the world is revolving around artificial suns. From scientists to movie enthusiasts, people can't stop talking about them. Do you remember Dr. Octopus from Spider-Man? He created an artificial sun, but when it got out of control, so did he. Hopefully, real-life artificial suns won't be creating any supervillains. In fact, they might be the hero we've been waiting for. So what is an artificial sun? It's a huge machine which is capable of creating huge amounts of power. It takes hot plasma, which is a blazing combination of gases, and further heats it up to above 100 million degrees Celsius. To give you a rough idea, that's 10 times hotter than the core of the sun. This kind of heat is held in for as long as possible. That's when loads of energy is released. Hopefully, one day scientists will be able to harness it, and we'll get to why that's important. But first, let's talk about a new feat in this technology. China has broken a record. More specifically, the Experimental Advanced Superconducting Tokamak, or EAST, has. It was able to confine the superhot plasma and keep its power high and stable for a whopping 403 seconds. That's about 7 minutes. It's quite the task, about 4 times the previous record of 101 seconds. This record was also held by China. It was set in 2017. So now, not only have previous records been shattered, the world has gotten close to making fusion reactors even better. They use the same science as what happens on the sun, and it can give immense amounts of energy.
So that is it. They've developed a fake sun, but unfortunately they didn't develop a fake daughter as yet. It's just the fake sun that we have. And there's real heat coming out from that. And I know everybody is like looking around and saying, whoa, 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 whoa. We didn't even figure out how to protect ourselves, the ozone layer and everything from the real sun. How we reached our fake sun that burning just as hot as the real sun. Like, are we really taking this seriously? Did we make sure and put all the preventative measures in place? We need to ask them questions quick, before we burn our whole hole straight through the earth. And we're in real pressure there. But nevertheless, I find this is a real cool discovery, because you might have some energy that's coming out from fusion, and that can help us to power so many cities across the entire globe, and is a cheaper form of energy as well. So there are always some fantastic advancements that are happening that we need to just take a look at and say, wow, but also say, hold on, let's think this through properly before we go all in, and then make the right decision. Because you don't want to end up in a situation like Elon Musk. And what am I talking about? I'm talking about Elon Musk and Twitter, who recently said that the only reason he bought Twitter was because he had a legal obligation. Yes, I'm serious, he said that. He felt as if he had a legal obligation to buy the social media giant Twitter. And indeed, he's purchased it and he's had it for a while, and we've seen some interesting things happening with Twitter. One of the most interesting, though, is the fact that government-funded media stations that have a presence on Twitter are saying that they do not want to be branded as government-funded media stations, which Twitter has done. They just put up a banner on their profile and says government-funded media. And how are they going about fighting this? Well, the government is asking the media that they fund to fight off and say that they're unhappy with being branded as government-funded media. Yes, that is exactly how they're dealing with this right now. So Elon is trying to meet them at least a little bit halfway and say, well, it's all right, we'll say that you're public funded, which basically means the same thing, just in case you were wondering. But Elon Musk, just take a look at this guy right here in this clip.
The pain level of Twitter has been extremely high. This hasn't been some sort of party. So it's been really quite a stressful situation. Were there many mistakes made along the way? Of course.
When you put that initial bid in, you then had a wobble. You kind of said, I actually don't want to buy Twitter anymore. Then you changed your mind again and decided to buy it. Did you do that? Did you do that?
I kind of had to.
Right. Did you do that because you thought that a court would make you do that?
Yes.
Right.
Yes, that is the reason.
Right. So you were still trying to get out of it, and then you just were advised by lawyers, look, you're going to have to buy this.
Yes.
Interesting. So you.
Yeah.
So you didn't actually want to purchase it, even when you said you were going.
Well, not at that price.
Almost immediately, you sacked a lot of Twitter workers.
Yeah.
And I spoke to them. It was very easy to speak to them when it happened. And the way they said, pretty much everyone said, is that it felt quite haphazard.
It was.
And it felt a little bit uncaring.
I wouldn't say uncaring. The issue is like the company's either going to go bankrupt, or if we do not cut costs immediately. This is not a caring, uncaring situation. It's like if the whole ship sinks, then nobody's got a job.
You've said that you were going to stand down as chief executive, right? Okay.
I keep telling you, I'm not the CEO of Twitter. My dog is the CEO of Twitter.
Okay.
After almost an hour of questions, he hung around to answer more questions on Twitter.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry, you heard him right. You heard him right in that last clip. He just said that he is not the CEO of Twitter, but his dog is. That man just took a potong and said, all right, a potong is who is running Twitter. And all of us on Twitter, a lot of people using it, 80% of political leaders across the entire globe exist on Twitter, use Twitter. People like Donald Trump use Twitter. I mean, sometimes some of his tweets could be a little doggy dog, you know, so I can understand how that ties into the CEO of Twitter being a dog. But this man put a dog as the CEO. Woof! Woof! I'm telling you, it's real pressure inside there, indeed. I don't know how the structures work. Is it that the people there go inside and ask the dog for permission to implement new strategies? So let's just plan this and like throw him a treat or something to try and bribe how they're going to go around their plans and what they're going to do? I don't know. I'm very interested to find out what the structure in Twitter is like with a dog as a CEO. I don't even know how I'd feel about that. Imagine if it was a dog as my co-host here. Half the time we'll just be barking at each other. Yeah. Woo! Yeah. Woo! Yeah. Woo! Pressure, indeed. So kudos to all those who still work at Twitter. I mean, there was a massive cutback from 8,000 employees to somewhere around 1,500 during the takeover by Elon Musk. But now at least you have a dog. You know, that is true equality. That is true equality. We've moved beyond just fighting for equality for humans, but now even dogs can get a big walk and be. I hope he's being paid. You know, where does he go, to the dog union? What happens then? I don't know. It's just a strange world we live in. A strange world we live in, indeed. So, ladies and gentlemen, before I continue along with this long story short segment, I have to go and feed my dog, so you never know, because he could take over a social media giant in just a few years. So I want to make sure and keep him healthy just in case that comes up. So right now, we'll go to a break.
Take some time for yourself or spend some time with the family at Sandy Point Village Hotel. Enjoy our various studio and suite apartments, self-contained with their own kitchenettes and Wi-Fi. We also have our famous 100-foot swimming pool and our beachfront restaurant, The Steak and Lobster Grill. And our location in Crown Point puts us near the center of activity, from the nylon pool to the local nightlife. Call us and make your reservations at 639-8533, 389-2378, or email us at sandypointvillagehotel@gmail.com.
People really want to know, what about me? Where do I fit?
Yes.
What is in the ride for me in terms of a better Trinidad and Tobago? And I'm pleased to shed some light on that.
The purpose of bail is to ensure your attendance at court. That's it. It is not punitive, it is not rehabilitative.
We, the police officers, we are professional, and we are here for whenever the survivor is ready to come forward.
We have the right to private and family life, the right to religious freedoms and beliefs and thoughts and expression. But these rights are not absolute. Certain rights can be limited.
The law is to govern the whole, it's for all of us in public.
And now we're moving over to a story that's been making rounds across the entire globe in the world of sport and entertainment. And it's a big one. Now we know that everybody who gets married, they do so for love, and they expect it to be long-lasting indeed. But as of recent, in modern times, we know that most marriages, actually quite a few, end in divorce. In some countries, it's sometimes as much 1 in every 2 marriages that end in divorce. And therefore, it's no surprise that professional footballer Hakimi, who plays for PSG, has been making the news with his latest stunt to ensure that none of his assets were lost. If you haven't heard about this story, take a look at it right about now.
Hakimi has a reported net worth of around $24 million. He is the 6th highest paid athlete in Africa. He earns around $215,000 per week. Reports say Abouk demanded more than half of Hakimi's fortune in alimony. And what happened next left everybody in shock. As it turns out, most of the Moroccan player's fortune was in his mother's name. Abouk's husband legally owns nothing. His assets are registered under his mother's name. And the internet is going gaga over how Hakimi dribbled his wife.
So he's definitely put all of his eggs into one basket, but that basket is held by his mother. And that is extremely smart because now in his divorce, his former wife or his ex-wife gets absolutely nothing. But we had to get somebody to cover this story and to understand exactly what's happening out there. So we go to Bjorn Graham, who's currently in Paris, France, outside PSG, covering this story. Bjorn, over to you. Bjorn? Beyond.
Zimi, Zou, is a bonjour, 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 hello, hello, Zimi, me the naughty France, right now me here, the Frontery, Republic Bank, the Antragbit Road, right now my name is not Beyond, it is Beyond, and right now I am transferring everything into my mother's name. 1 sec, just one second, Zigu, Jibide.
Beyond, sorry, did you say you're on Tragrit Road outside Republic Bank? I don't understand. I thought you took a flight across to Paris, France.
Me not go to France. See France come to me. See me see Hakimi. I have to import France right here. I learn my lesson from Hakimi. I must adopt that into my lifestyle. Right now, I transfer everything into my mother name. I transfer my phone into my mother name. I transfer my chain into my mother name. This blazer, it's now my mother's own. 1 more second, just 2 more seconds. I'll get with you shortly. S'il vous plaît, Zareva, je m'appelle Ziggy.
Beyond, I'm a little bit confused. What language are you speaking? Is that supposed to be some form of Francais? Did you pick that up on French Street?
This is the French, the put the Spain, this is the French, the Instagram, this is the accent I feel I must speak in to transfer everything into my mother's name expeditiously, as fast as possible. I not playing nothing out here. I am not playing that at all. 1 second, je vous play, Jibi Zala.
Okay, all right, Bjorn. Well, I wish you all the luck with the transferring of all your assets over to your mother's name. Do you plan to get divorced? Is that what's happening? You're already planning ahead? I didn't even know you were married.
Well, you must prepare for everything in life. You must prepare. Preparation is better than being sorry. All my future assets are in my mother's name. Everything is in my mother's name. The B-15, my mother, the HGC home, my mother, everything is in my mother's name. Over to you, Darrion. Over to you.
All right, thank you, Bjorn. Well, hopefully we can catch up with you a little bit later to find out what other assets you'll be transferring across into your mother's name indeed. And I wish you all the best with that, even though he's not married. In fact, I don't even think he has a girlfriend at this point in time. He's preparing for his future divorce, and that is what we call a man who is on the ball. Bjorn, any last comments or any last words before we sign off?
What is advice to all you men out there, single, married, divorced? Just make sure you have everything in your mother's name. If not your mother, the next best bet is your father. Anticipate, better to be late than sorry. Thank you. Over to you. I'm out. Je m'appelle.
Merci beaucoup. Indeed, indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Beyond Graham covering the Hakimi story from Tragrit Road. And the main reason that has actually occurred, even though he says he's transferring across the assets, is because we could not afford the flight to send him over to Paris, France. It's just a little bit out of budget. But nevertheless, we try to reach the furthest stories across the entire globe. Thank you all so much for understanding. But as we're on the topic of cheating, something else has just popped up that has really gotten a lot of people across the Caribbean very interested, and that is, of course, Chance the Rapper and what is happening with him at the Jamaica Carnival. And if you haven't heard of that or haven't seen the video that has been making its rounds on social media, take a look at it right about now.
Chance the Rapper has come under fire after video showed him dancing provocatively with a woman at Jamaica's Carnival Festival, with some people accusing him of cheating on his wife. The video in question made its rounds on social media over the weekend, and it shows Chance the Rapper enjoying himself at the annual Jamaican festival as he dances on a twerking woman. While most were supportive of Chance having a good time, some people began accusing the rapper of cheating on his wife, Kirsten Corley, whom he's been married to for over 4 years. At La_Shay tweeted, "Ain't he married?" Another user wrote, "Chancellor, where is your wife?" Someone else wrote, "So is Chance the Rapper still married? If yes, then bombastic side-eye." However, other fans came to Chance's defense, reminding haters that it was Carnival and that Chance was just indulging in the local culture. One person wrote, "They're mad at Chance the Rapper for cheating on his wife. Y'all don't bring that European nonsense to this ethnic household and let that man enjoy Caribbean culture." Another wrote, "Americans don't even understand the concept of Carnival. Chance the Rapper reveling and all of them saying he's cheating. LOL. Cultural deficit much?"
Jamaica Carnival, what a time indeed. But negotiation of space in such a cultural phenomenon is something that we all have to question and ask a lot of questions about, especially when you're a foreigner. But Beyond Graham is back in studio with us. It seems as if he sprinted all the way across here. Beyond, how you reach here so fast?
Well, I had to jog with all the assets in hand. So I'm going to return there right after the segment and finish up everything. But this is so important. We have to do this right now.
Well, Beyond, I'm glad that you're here. How you felt about this whole situation with Chance the Rapper?
Well, I'll tell you something, Darrion. I have done blackjack, I have done roulette, I have done a plethora of gambling activities. Call me a gambling connoisseur of sorts. And not even I, Darrion, will take a chance like that.
Beyond, what if you were playing Monopoly?
Well, you see, I'll take a community chess, not a chance.
That is deep. For me, I personally oftentimes take a chance with my doubles rapper. Not Chance the Rapper, but Chance, the doubles rapper. Because no matter what, sometimes our doubles don't be wrapped properly, but you still want to eat it and you still want to consume it, and it still goes on the same way. But on a more serious note, Beyond, how you really feel about the situation? What was your take? What's your opinion on this?
I mean, it definitely caused a lot of noise around the celebrity, definitely because of who he is, and of course a lot of misinterpretations and misunderstandings in regards to the culture itself and the culture of the Caribbean, really and truly, and therefore it's caused a lot of perplexities and just a lot of confusion that we will hope to elucidate right here, right now.
Yes, indeed, a very perplexed situation. A lot of Americans are calling this cheating to some extent, but that's probably from a lack of understanding of Caribbean culture. Won't you agree?
Well, of course, we have certain norms and practices that are exclusive to right here. Some might consider that something a bit explicit and perverse, but no, that's just Chance the Rapper having a little bit of fun. As a matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, he was on the road with a raffle sheet.
A raffle sheet?
A raffle sheet.
A raffle sheet?
That's to mark down every chance he had to take.
Wow. Wow. Indeed. If you were there, will you take a chance like that? You're sounding like you would take a chance now,
Well, listen to me. He and I will take chances together. As a matter of fact, you see who he was whining on?
Yeah?
Listen to me. I want to just be like, baby, the sugar on that skin, the sweetest melanin, yeah.
I feel you should go for international soca monarch, boy. You have it in here,
One of these days, probably when they bring back international soca monarch.
But Beyond, I think you're absolutely right. It's about a cultural phenomenon. It's about understanding the culture that you exist within. For us, if we had seen that in Trinidad, we'd be passing that normal, especially around Carnival time.
As a matter of fact, we'll engage anyone with him and probably form what we like to call a sandwich.
Well, Beyond, thanks so much for coming, for sharing your opinions, for being here on the program, and for covering both the Hakimi situation and sharing your input on the Chance the Rapper. Any last words, any last remarks before you sign off?
Well, Let's let them take some of the hype and some of the noise off of the guy. Let them enjoy the culture. And we welcome Chance. Chance, I want to get your Instagram. I want to get your social media. I'm going to be in contact with you. We are going to hit up Crop Over. After that, we're going to Miami. After that, we're going Caribana. After that, we're going Notting Hill. And it's going to be such a vibe. Thank you guys for having me. Thank you. I'm going to take all my assets and return to Republic Bank and put everything back in my mother's name. Thank you.
Beyond, I don't know if you realize, but we actually hired you, so you'll be here next week again. Yeah, so we have to have you every week.
Definitely.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Ladies and gentlemen, Beyond Graham sharing, of course, his input on the Chance the Rapper situation and covering stories all across the entire globe for us. We love having him here. And we will now cut for a break and be right back.
FanZone, your reliable, authentic supplier, has just gotten better. You can now visit our website www.fanzonett.com for your authentic wear and collectibles. The only place where you can use both your Visa debit and credit cards. Visit our website fanzonett.com to make your purchase today.
Join me, Sule A. Joseph, as I delve into the day-to-day psychological issues plaguing our society. We will discuss behaviors that encompass the biological influences, social pressures, and environmental factors that affect how you think, act, and feel. Sight, Thursdays at 11:30 a.m., only on WESN, Content Capital.
Right here on Long Story Short, we're all about finding emerging talent and bringing them to set. And the next person to come up and perform for us is an amazing actor performing her hit song Hourglass from her EP When the Grass Was Greener. Ladies and gentlemen, Killer B.